calling or my, I believe in God, and I have a strong belief in God. And I don't know that God has given me a purpose, but I have a purpose. And I don't have to tell the world about my purpose. I have to show the world. And I think that's important for anybody, is just lead by example. You know?
I think that's the free will. Like it talks about that in the Bible. I believe that we get such an amazing choice on this earth of maybe who we pick to be in our lives, our family, our friends. Most people don't pick on purpose. They pick against really what they're meant to be. I think it's a fear factor.
Well, and there's security, in the comfort zone.
It's so right on,
right? Like you get that comfort zone. Oh, this just feels good. This is easy. And sometimes we get influenced. Like I watch some of these pro athletes, that bless their hearts, they have all this talent, and they get these big contracts, and they surround themselves with just yes people, instead of mentors and people that say, what can I do better with my money? How can I be a better citizen? And I think one of the downfalls of some of these pro associations is they don't give enough time to their athletes to teach them how to be good citizens and what to do and how to help with their money. And now that I'm in medicine, I see, I was, in racing and in hockey, I had a lot of concussions. I was a goalie, so I got hit in the head with pucks, and I got bashed. In racing, I banged my head a few times. I've had, I think 13 concussions. And so since I got into medicine, involved with Missouri, I've had the good fortune to work with people that have show me different drugs that help clear out those things that happen to your brain, and a lot of these guys, these poor pro athletes, especially in football, they get their brains bashed out, and nobody's there to help them, and nobody's there. They finish their contract and away they go. And these guys got problems. They got
CETE, the PTS,
the PTS, And I had the good fortune to work with Wounded Warriors Family Support Group and meet some of these poor guys that come back with PTSD, and they got this thing in their brain, and they're raging it. Man, there's drugs that can help, and there's therapy. There's ketamine therapy. There's ayahuasca. There's LSD. There's things that are out there that can help these guys and these women get through that stuff. Addiction.
I had a guy work on me 3 times. I mentioned him to you. I don't know if I finished it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we just kind of get started.
So this guy, he's out of DC, and you were getting some water at your house, and Deanna was looking at the fish tank with Conrad, and this guy worked on me. The second time, he goes, just give it a couple weeks, and I'm walking through Walmart, and it turned on, and I'm like, what just happened? I called him. I go, what just happened to me? It went from like regular TV, like SD, to 4K.
Oh wow.
And it got light, and I saw everything, and I see the grain. I see like the whole entire thing.
Just kicked in.
It's clear. And I'm like, what just happened to me? And so he worked on Deanna before Deanna had Conrad. He's worked on me one more time. And it's he worked on my mother and my father. Like my mother's like, oh my, I've never seen anything. This guy, I saw him take a guy that was in a wheelchair that couldn't walk, and in a couple hours, help him walk. He literally folded up his wheelchair and left. And I'm like, hold on.
Oh,
so you got to meet this guy.
I do.
Because he would love what you're doing. He's exactly in alignment with what you want.
Yeah, for sure.
He's worked for some big celebrities, like they would fly him in. But he's very, very unique on, I believe it's 2 things. It's the physical and the spiritual.
Yeah.
So he works on both.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between a healer and a supporter.
Sure.
Is what he goes, I'm not a healer.
Right.
He goes, I support your own spirit to heal itself.
Heal itself, right.
It's kind of like a lizard I think it's like a lizard that gets their tail cut off. It can grow back a new tail conceptually, right? Or whatever, animals can,
crabs can grow another claw, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So he's like, this is, humans, we don't use that much of our brain. We don't use that much of our, and if the more you're connected, the more you can see, feel, think, hear, experience, and the whole thing changes. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And and while you're talking about that is like addiction. I mean, my father was an alcoholic. I think I probably had abused substances and alcohol. I smoke cigarettes at times. We've all had our our crutches in, and the more I've experienced the fact that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can be fixed. And addiction is not, you're not alone. There's solutions, and as time goes by, and we get more technology and more people like yourself and podcasts like this to talk to people, you're not alone. Addiction can be helped, and you can. I'm not saying you can cure it, but I know you can. You have your mind and your body has the ability to heal. And I read about, now that I'm in this medical world, I read about placebo effects and and people that think that they're taking something and they actually get healed, but they're not taking anything. But if you focus on it can fix you. You can be fixed, and our body is an incredible. It's just amazing. I spoke with this amazing neurosurgeon that's comes to our office and helps us out. He's in sports medicine. He says that there's not factual basis, but they think that your mind can live for 350 years. Just think about that. Your brain can live for 350 years. So that, and as I'm 61 years old, and when you age, you start thinking about death. And I'm a firm believer you don't have to die.
So you got another 290.
Absolutely.
I'll be rolling with you.
Yeah, we'll be together.
I told my wife, I go, I'm going to live at least a couple hundred years.
Yeah. Why
because
not?
the tech's coming out now.
Why can't you? And as long as you have a purpose, and I say this very clearly, as long as I have a purpose, as long as I'm not a nuisance, as long as I have the means and I can contribute and I have a purpose, I believe I'll live forever. And it's funny how I mentioned that to somebody this morning, and they freaked out. They go, "The Bible says you're going to die." Well, the Bible was written a long time ago, and I believe that there's a lot of great things in the Bible. The Bible teaches a lot of things. The Bible was written a long time ago, and nobody's gone and said,
but
we have new science.
Back in the Bible, Old Testament, they were living 900 years.
Well,
I forget who it was. Somebody had a baby at 900 years old.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Maybe not a baby. I'm tripping on this one. But they were living 900 years old. Noah, hold on a second. I'm going to look this up right now. How old were they, right?
Yeah. So, but that being said, we can fix ourselves, and nobody should give up. Like
950 years, Noah. He died at 950 years old.
There you go.
So at the end of the day, why not?
Why not?
The Bible said we can.
Okay.
So why the shift?
I wasn't aware of that. The Bible said we could, but here's the deal. I know we can, and because it's staying healthy, fix your problems, and have a purpose, and don't give up. Like we're here. This is a beautiful. This is heaven. This is heaven. This is heaven. Earth is heaven. And what happens beyond we don't know. And I'm not living to die. I'm dying to live. And
I live to live.
Yeah, life is amazing, and it certainly every day is not great, but we certainly have an opportunity out there to have a beautiful life, contribute, enjoy, have children, have friends. This is a great place to be, and now we're talking. Well, we could go to Mars someday. We go to visit the moon. I mean, this is a great time to be alive.
90 years old. Sarah had a baby. That's what it was. It wasn't 900.
90.
90 years old. That's pretty good, though.
Not bad.
Hey, my wife just rocked it at 37. She can keep going, right? I mean, I'm like...
Absolutely. You have another 5.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 90, I mean, we could have another,
10.
30 or 40,
Sure, why not?
She's a rock star.
There you go. Might get a little wore out of the babies plopping out of there. But
Hey,
we can fix that. Here in Missouri, we can fix that. We have all kinds of technology for that.
So what I've seen downstairs is amazing. Can you kind of talk about what you guys are doing for life extension, adding value to people's current life? Because I believe that healthcare, some people say that healthcare is something that everybody should have. And at the end of the day, my thought is okay, should everybody... I heard a commercial back in the day. It was about 6 years ago and maybe 7 years ago, and somebody called up Pizza Hut and said, I'd like to order pizza. And they're like, awesome, what's your phone number for the order, right? And they gave the phone number, and they're like, okay, what would you like? And person's like, I'd like 2 medium pizzas. And they're like, okay, that'd be like $300. And they're like, hold on, what? Be like, well, let's see here. You're already a diabetic. You've been eating pizza every day for the last 10 years. And they listed all these things out,
Sure.
right? And at the end of the day, it's interesting where science comes in, where health comes in, and where not taking care of your body comes in. And I find that people that don't take care of their body have some type of could add some value to maybe some pain or
Absolutely.
something that's subconscious, not conscious, but subconscious where.
Yeah, listen, in health, there's no free ride. I've witnessed this since I got into Azuri Center is a aesthetic and rejuvenation clinic, and we deal with skin and we deal with wellness, and I have some brilliant people downstairs, and I don't want to speak out of turn and talk about things that I don't know exactly how to talk about, but.
You have hyperbarics. Let's just talk about that.
Well,
Number one.
let's talk about kind of the concept of what we do down there, and the aesthetic is one thing. We have a platform that you can look your best and feel your best. But I've said this right from the start of this pandemic is why aren't these politicians, these amazing doctors, why aren't they saying at the end of the day, you have to look after yourself. You have to eat properly. You have to exercise. You have to love. You have to sleep well.
Yep.
There's nothing getting around that. You cannot abuse your body, because if you abuse your body, you have the chances are you're going to get diabetes. You're going to get arthritis. You're going to get heart problems. You can't ignore looking after. There's no compromise for not looking after your body. And we all have times we gain a little weight or we get a little lazy and we go through a phase, but it'll catch up with you. And there's no free ride here. And if everybody would understand that this pandemic should have woken people up. And I never once heard a politician or these doctors say, you know what? Yeah, we got to get through this COVID thing, but most importantly, you got to eat properly, you have to exercise, get outside and run.
Go to the beach down here.
And when you're laying in bed, you're getting sick. You're getting sicker.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of bed and fight this stuff. You know, you get a flu, fight it. Drink lots of water, eat properly, get rest, get sleep, but then get upstairs, get out there and run or walk or ride a bicycle. There's nothing out. And so I believe strongly that if we got, of course, now we have all this technology, this CRISPRs and things like that. We can structure, find out before you're even born what problems you might have, and they can change things. So let's say you have a baby that's born healthy, and everything looks good. If you teach that baby, or you bring that baby health and exercise right from the get-go, you'll put doctors out of business. You don't need a doctor. And if you come to us and we say everything's based on your blood. A blood test tells you what your blood's doing. Blood's the most important part of your body. Yep. But your urine tells you what your body needs. Okay, so if you have deficiencies of certain vitamins or certain supplements or things you need, your urine will tell you that, and your blood will tell you that. So if you come to us from the very start and we monitor your blood and your urine, you'll never see a doctor, because we'll always know what you need. And when you age, then all of a sudden things start changing. Women go into menopause, and men go into menopause. I stopped menopause because of HRT. So if you constantly monitor what your body needs as you age, your aging process will. And I don't know the answer to this. I'm not going to sit here and say you'll stop aging. But I do things now. My flexibility and my things. I do things now that I couldn't even do when I was 25, and my body has been busted up.
Well, you're scuba diving, you're skiing, you're on the boat.
Let me tell you something. I'm in the gym hard, just about every day of the week. And I do a yoga, and I do stretching exercises, and I'm doing things that I couldn't do. And let me tell you something. I had my orthopedic surgeon said, I'm not doing orthoscopic on you because your knees are shot. You need to go get your knees replaced. And I went to the thing and said, yeah, we need to replace your knees. And I said, no. And I now have stem cell therapy, and I have all these therapies that I'm doing my knees. I'm running, and I have no arthritis. I used to be I get up in the morning, I go, I have to go take a pee the first thing in the morning, and I would just crawl to that bathroom to try and get going. Now I pop out of bed. And so, I pop
out of bed at like 2 a.m. when my son starts crying for food. I'm like, I'm going to get food. I'm going to get food. I got it.
Yeah, you text me this morning at 7 o'clock. I go, that guy's got a kid.
I love popping out of bed. And that's interesting, because most athletes, like you or me, at a certain level, our bodies break down.
Absolutely, they do.
But they don't take. I took really good care of my body from my perspective.
Sure.
Compared to I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing drugs. I was more on track.
Yeah.
I was resting. I was stretching. I was.
Yeah.
But a lot of athletes are abusing their body, and they're abusing their body double
listen,
with everything else.
You can abuse your body. You can do